Hello everyone and welcome back to Marathon Alliance 24, specifically on the Bingothon block. I hope you're enjoying this final day of the event, and with that, I hope you're ready to enjoy this wonderful run of NieR Automata with some amazing spelling bingo. This event is in benefit of Project Hope, and you can find all the links to donate below the stream by typing !donate in the chat. With that said, that's enough for me. So how about our wonderful commentators, Ame and Game Commander, take it away.
Thank you, Pika. Great to be here again in Bingothon. NieR is always happy to show up. We're a little bit past when we wanted to start, so let's get this show on the road, and then we'll introduce our spelling bingo format and the game.
All right, brilliant. Looks like they're all ready. So I'll give them the countdown. So 3, 2, 1, back to shmup. You probably see, if you're very attentive, that a bunch of players have back to shmup on their screens instead of start game. It's just a little speedrunner mod that we use to reduce some of the load times. And yeah, nice little cozy thing we have. So to give it a quick, precise explanation, spelling bingo, every player is looking to spell a letter with their bingo board. The word we're trying to spell is NieR, N-I-E-R, so one letter per player. And it's essentially Team NI versus Team NER. And yeah, simple as that.
Okay, all right.
You can see all the goals on the big board in the middle. Every player has the same board,
Okay,
or they will be working towards their letters individually.
Morning.
Thank you, Ame. Yeah, and so one thing you'll notice if you've played NieR Automata, looking at everyone's screens, this is not where NieR Automata starts. Usually it starts at a shmup in prologue.
Okay.
For the purposes of bingo, we actually skip the prologue. So we start as soon as prologue is over. That's when the game opens up a little bit. It's a pretty story progress heavily gated game, but we can do some fancy stuff to sequence break a little bit. Nothing too extreme, but hopefully we'll get to see some fun glitches to make things a little wacky and wild. So the first thing you'll see everybody do is just get out of the bunker here and get to the open world. This is the phase of the bingo where each of the runners are reading the board for the first time, so they've never seen these boards. They know what the shape of their letter is, but they're trying to figure out what goals they need to do and route things out.
Usually we can't get
Taking a look at the board, are there any goals that strike out to you immediately, Ame, as ones we might want to keep our eye on, ones that might be, particularly interesting or possible to miss?
So definitely one of them that comes up, Game Commander, is the improving communications goal on the bottom right. It's one of the quests that you can lock yourself out of. There aren't many of those in this game, but it is one of them, and you'll likely see two of the players going for that very early on. Before we go into the desert, you'll probably see them transport back to the bunker to talk to the commander to start that. If you miss that opportunity and keep going through the story progress, you can lock yourself out because, for whatever reason, the commander no longer wants to talk about it.
Now,
I don't know if you've seen any others.
I think that's the main one to look at, and so the stream knows we have thought of this. We didn't want to make it completely impossible for anyone to finish the bingo, and we wanted to give people something to do if they finish their goals before their teammate. So if a runner finishes their goals before their teammate, they can go fish. So they'll be trying to catch a rare fish, and if they're able to do so, their teammate will get to complete one goal for free. So don't worry, we aren't going to get locked out completely here. I don't expect either of these great teams runners to miss it, but if you see people start to fish once they've completed, now you know what you're seeing.
Yeah, it's just a nice tidy thing we throw in there. Since in a 2v2 you are waiting on your teammate at some points. Obviously one person's going to finish before the other, so it's a nice way for your teammate to contribute to your board if you're struggling, or vice versa. If you lock yourself out of a goal, you have that backup plan. We haven't seen it yet, but there is also the opportunity of, if you think a goal is really, really slow, you could say, I don't want to touch that goal. I want to go fishing. That is an opportunity, but nobody's used it yet.
Yeah, we've been in a lot of bingo-thons, done a lot of different formats over the year, and we've perhaps over-chefed this one a little bit, but it's pretty fun. It's certainly not a format you're gonna see anybody else running. So
Yeah,
According
it's
to our
definitely
intel,
unique.
None of the
It's
machines in this area are hostile. We've been
it's
seeing
got its
more
charm
and
to
more
it
enemies
though,
like
for
this
sure.
lately.
So because
They
everybody
just
has the
stand
same
there
board,
staring
but you're
into
not necessarily
space.
doing the same goals
It's pretty
in
weird.
the same order. And you'll look at the goals and you think, oh, this person's got a faster letter or this person's got a slower letter. But a lot of the times it does even out when you're doing a team versus team game.
So this
yeah.
is the resistance camp,
So
huh?
speaking
We
of
should probably
that,
go talk to their leader
pretty
first,
sure
then.
Team ER has just more goals to do. So they have a little bit of a disadvantage here. All 4 of our runners, we usually talk about this dynamic of people who are more experienced at bingo versus people who are more experienced at the 80% speedrun. But all 4 of these runners have played in Bingothon before. So we've got some nice Bingothon veteran versus Bingothon veteran action.
Yeah, I think we didn't actually introduce our runners. So I'll go ahead from the top left. We've got Damage
This must have
Glitch.
been quite a city
He's
once
one of
upon a
the
time.
very good any percent
Too bad
runners. I'm
vegetation's
not
claimed
sure how
most
much
of it
he's
now.
dabbled in other categories, but he has played lots of bingo in the past. He does know NieR like the back of his hand, and I'm sure he's going to come in strong this game.
Yeah, and
This is
to
2B.
talk
Nothing to
about that,
report.
I think Bingo and NieR is a really great combination of using your wider game knowledge
It's
of,
fine.
there's a bunch of
Does that
things that
question
you
have
might have as a
anything to
bingo
do
goal
with
that
our
aren't
operation?
done in the 80% run. But story progress is also really important. There are a bunch of goals that are gated by
Feeling
story
nice
progress
has no
that we
bearing
can't
on
glitch our way
That should be
around.
enough.
So having a strong
Let's get these
80%
back
is
to the trader.
also a really big part of being good at bingo.
Yep. And then on the bottom left, we've got Tsugoii. She's also one of the top 80% runners, but she's also dabbled in E ending. I believe she's done a little bit of all endings, and she has done 1 or 2 hundos in the past. So
She's been
very
playing this
familiar
game
with the
for
game.
a long time, so I would not expect there to be anything in here that she doesn't know how to do.
Yeah, so you'll see a lot of the runners like that will be very familiar with all of the goals, and it has its values in bingo when your team's struggling and then you have that person to rely on. Tsugoii might be that person this game. And then for the top right, we have Icarus. Once again, very good any
that's
percent
everything
runner.
the supply trader asked for.
Has also dabbled in hundo, I believe. Can't quite remember. I think it
Man,
was a
these
long time
chores are a
ago.
real pain in the
But yeah,
butt, huh?
very
The
familiar
Resistance
with
is
the
a
game.
valuable
Has done
ally to
plenty of
your
bingos
help.
in the
By
past,
helping them,
and
we
just a
also help
very
ourselves.
fast runner
So
overall.
no, I don't think they're a pain.
And then in the
Yeah,
bottom right,
yeah.
we have Riker, one of our newer runners, but very much up and coming. Has been extremely active in bingo, possibly more than any percent compared to the other 3. So
You love to see
expecting
it.
a lot from him. Yeah, you get the people who they may progress in story 1 or 2 minutes faster, but when you spend 10-15 seconds looking on the wiki, that time adds up compared to somebody who just knows it. So it's all to play for. All to play for.
Yeah, it's now looking at the boards here. I'm interested to not have seen anyone do the get ending U self-destruct bunker. It's a goal that's accessible sort of right from the start here. Maybe we'll see Tsugoii do it here. Whichever player is the end player. Okay, there we go. So we see Tsugoii doing it. So we found out that Tsugoii is probably making the end there for Team NI. And first goal is on the board. Got a lead, although a lead is almost never truly a lead in bingo. The goals take really vastly different amounts of time to do, and the runners will probably prioritize getting them efficiently while completing the story over beelining for, okay, I'm gonna focus on one goal, then I'm gonna focus on the next goal, etc.
Yeah, so there's definitely a lot of times where it can be more optimal to complete a goal than other times. We will also likely see a lot of story progress early from these runners. I believe 2 of them have to do improving communications. They have to be a little more careful. But that's the only thing I can see that you can lock yourself out of on this board. And story progress, even though sometimes it's not perfectly efficient, if you unlock those transporters around half an hour, 25 minutes into the bingo run, you start zooming around the map, and that makes up for any bad choices that you made early, or anybody who's trying to sneak in a weird goal early. having those transporters available is a very nice safety net, and it's worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, that's one of the big things. So we've got a lot of different and fast movement techniques in NieR, but unlike some other games, we don't have any glitches that help us move across huge swaths of the map really quickly. So a lot of the time in Bingo, people will rely on unlocking that fast travel and trying to figure out which fast travel points are worth it to go out of their way and unlock versus when it's worth it to just focus on the main storyline and get to transporting as quickly as you can, but maybe you have less options of where you can transport to.
Yeah, so we're seeing a lot of story progress here, but we are also seeing some new diversions.
Map
We've got
data, huh?
Tsugoii in the top
Hard
left.
to get an accurate picture from this. Our
Oh,
satellite
the
resolution
bottom
isn't
left
so
now,
high.
I believe. Sorry,
Hopefully they deploy some new
it's
satellites
wrong on
soon.
my screen.
A giant
Yeah, Tsugoii on the bottom left is out there
don't let
going to get
anything
some
get in your way, do
transporters,
you?
doing the improving communications quest early, just knocking it out so that she doesn't have to worry about it. And then we can see Riker in the bottom right picking up some items. I believe that was the gold ore goal. Yep, he's marked it. And it looks like Damage Glitch and Icarus mainly sticking to story. Not too sure what Icarus has done. He might have done the detour for improving communications.
Yeah, I believe
Who opens a sealed
they've
gate with
done the improving
explosives?
communications detour,
There's
but
gotta
haven't
be an
turned the
easier
quest
way,
in yet.
right?
Gotcha. So if you want
Yeah.
to take it for a little bit, and I'll fix my links so we got them in the right order.
Sounds good. So looking at movement here, right now you'll see a lot of dash swings. Movement in the early game of NieR is dominated by combining dash with attacks. The
This
idea is
sand
that you
sure is
get a little
slippery.
bit of burst of movement from doing either a punch or a swing of your sword, and then you cancel that when it gets to the slower portion of that animation with another dash. It's much faster than just chaining dashes together if you do it right. But you got to get into the right rhythm. If you're doing bad cancels, it can wind up being actually quite a bit slower. So you'll see a lot of
Careful.
small
We've got
optimizations
enemies
in any
approaching.
percent with people deciding okay, this doing that swing, that spinning swing of the sword moves me this far, doing the punch moves me this far. How can I make sure to get just the right distance that I want? And soon you're going to see some nice combat over there on Damage Glitch's stream. So the main way we do combat in this game is with their namesake, the Damage Glitch. So if you dash and you cancel that dash into a heavy on the light sword there, like we start out with Virtuous Contract, you'll throw a spinning sword in a way that does 5 times damage. We're not 100% sure why, but it doesn't matter. It has
It's
been
heading for
the
that rocky
staple of
area.
NieR Automata combat since really the beginning of the speedrun. And one of the really great things that we can do is we can actually equip that same sword to both of our weapon sets. And we can switch weapon sets after
What's that?
throwing one of the swords. And we can actually, even though it's the same sword, they're both Virtuous Contract, you can actually throw 2 instances of that spinning sword and have 2 5 times damage spinning swords out, which allow us to take on things much higher level, much quicker than we would otherwise have been able to do.
So as you can see in the top left of your screen, Damage Glitch is now in the Adam Pit fight. What it is essentially there's a few enemies you have to kill. There's a certain threshold of numbers killed that you need to hit. And then a guy that we call Don Burrows, I believe it's just because he jumps into the sand and burrows, he'll pop out and we want to kill him, which then puts us on essentially a timer. And everything that's going on after that, you're just killing them for XP and gold and items and whatever goodies you might pick up. But it is primarily the XP. But there is a strategy, I'm not sure if we'll see any of our runners pull it off, where when Don jumps out of the sand, he is actually able to be hit. If you time it very carefully, or get very lucky and have an accident, you can kill Don during the cutscene and save, I think it's about 3 or 4 seconds extra. So, very handy. And now we can see that Damage Glitch is now in the Adam fight, trying his hardest to heal, I believe, and buff. But yeah, more
Yeah.
story progress. We see a little diversion going from Icarus there, picking up the desert housing transporter.
Yeah, I think that'll be a useful one. You know, sometimes runners have things sort of meticulously planned out. Sometimes they're just grabbing them for the sake of making sure they have options later. It's a nice skill that you can have in bingo, where if you can kind of zen out and you know, not really you have to use your brain to focus on the 80% route, you can use that time to start routing. Because routing on the fly really is sort of the core like ethos that makes you know, bingo different than just doing normal 80% run.
Yeah, I've played a couple of games with bingos. You know, it's always a lot of fun, but NieR is definitely a different beast in that anybody who's speedrun this game can attest to it is constantly go, 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 100% effort. You get very little time to actually look at the board, figure out what you want to do. Any time that you do get, you're talking like 3-4 seconds of glancing at it, thinking, okay, I'm going to go for this. Then you're full back on concentration on movement. There is very little downtime in bingo here.
It is very breakneck, and it's been great to watch our runners get better at it over the years. From the early bingo-thons, if you ever went back and watched, you'll see multiple runners standing still in the middle of nowhere during a run, looking up, you know, on the awful Vexter Life wiki how to complete one of the goals, maybe what story progress you need for a certain quest. So to see that, whereas now, you know, you might think that all these runners know the exact route they're on. If you watch them, I'm sure afterwards all the runners will come on and tell us the 16 different ways that they've messed up their route, wish they'd done it differently. But it doesn't look like that when you're watching them. It really can make it look really smooth.
Yeah, and one thing I want to comment on as well is that we do allow some cosmetic mods in the NieR community. Mainly the ones that don't have an impact on the speedrun. It just gives like a little bit of flair to the runners. You know, lets them customize their characters just how they feel suits them best. We've definitely got some interesting outfits this time.
Yeah, I think we have only one base model to be.
Yeah, one base model. It's becoming the minority nowadays, where a lot of players will find something that they really vibe with. We've got Zero
What the
and
hell just happened?
a couple of fancy bunny girl
I've never
costumes.
seen a machine like that before. We better report
We've
this
got
to
any
command.
other Automata runners in chat
Let's
if you
move
want
to
to
an
drop
area
your
of better
favorite
reception so we can contact
alt
command.
costume for 2B. I've seen some creative ones over the years.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Pascal reskin as well, the big smoke one. I love that.
Although I'm not sure if I've seen any chicken mods for many of our runners.
Don't think anyone's running it, sadly.
Wow, the meta has shifted.
No Amogus either.
Alright, so we're finishing up the desert here. I expect that we should see a little bit more differentiation in story progress. So we see Riker just doing a fancy little out of bounds there. It's a nice little hole in the geometry. Although they accidentally slipped back in bounds. Alright, well I was just about to praise them for how clean they made that look.
We should be able
It
to
was so close.
Won't discuss what that trick is named,
9S to
but
bunker. Do you copy?
I can't even remember, but knowing this community, yeah.
Just encountered a pair of humanoid machines.
We've got some interesting names, that's for sure.
But I have combat data ready
We got
for
some very silly ones too.
Understood.
We're
Ready to receive.
not against having
Hopefully you
things
get
named
something out
skip
of it.
skip or it's skip skip skip.
how many iterations of it you want to do.
So yeah, we see a damage glitch off to the amusement park already. Has pretty sizable lead, a couple of minutes already. Icarus is definitely not far behind,
Maybe
having
we should
already gone
now-
ahead and done a few little different things on the side. And Riker and
Operator to
Tsugoii,
9S.
again, just coming
Data
out of the
upload
desert.
complete.
all very, very
I also
similar
have an
pacing.
incoming message from the commander. Initiate
Yeah,
playback.
and now if you've played NieR but you haven't seen Bingo before, you might be wondering, wow, like how do they, how can they possibly do, in the amount of time that we're running, some of the goals, some goals that might be, deep and ending, C, far into the story, and the answer is that we don't. We in the NieR speedrun community love
I heard
Groon
something about
because we
that
love
back at
Groon
the
so
resistance
much.
camp.
We've sat through so many Groons that we decided, hey,
Target location
what if we
confirmed.
don't have to do that
I'm worried
for
about the
Bingo,
other androids.
and we
We
put
should
all of our
probably check
goals
this out as soon as
before the
possible.
15-minute
Looks like our surface route's been
unskippable
cut off.
auto
Maybe we
scroller.
can get through from
So
underground.
that's where we're contained here. So all these goals should be completable. The most story progress you'll have to do is going and killing A2 in the forest. I don't think all our runners will probably go kill A2, but we should see at least one from each team, most likely going to do A2.
Yeah, and I just want to throw out there, I can see on Icarus's screen and Tsugoi's screen, we do have a community mod that allows us to see the location of other players while we play. And, you may see some names,
What are
some
those?
ghosts floating around. That is real time, just showing the location of other speedrunners.
What the
Very
Will-
nice
Wow,
thing.
this is
Will is
weird.
having the most tragic time trying to do coaster here. They've clipped back in once and they've fallen and voided out now 3 times. So I want to assure you guys
No.
this is a extremely practiced 80% runner who has done this probably thousands of times, and it's probably messing
They're
up because
getting
their
resistance
brain is
signals from that
elsewhere
building
trying to
over
think
there.
about their routing, and it's they're gonna be that's gonna live in their head for the rest of this run.
Yeah, I mean, this run is definitely one of those things where if you take a week off, even just 1 week, you can start forgetting how to do a certain clip, just because
Oh,
there's
they've
so
hopped
many things.
on the coaster. That didn't even look like an accident.
Oh,
Interesting. Is there? For a
maybe
goal
they're
that
worried
is
about the
worth-
triggers.
Oh,
there
they
is the
probably
goal.
are because they're probably worried since they voted out. So the trick that they're doing is you should see Icarus about to do it. Is one of the more intricate tricks in the run, but it's really cool. The idea basically is that you can get all the necessary triggers for this roller coaster, and you can start the movement of the coaster as you see Icarus do there, but you're not on it. And once that happens, you basically are free to move around the map and do whatever you want for the, I don't know, minute and a half or so that it takes for the coaster to fully play its sequence. And we'll see if they're able to pick up anything useful during that extra time. During the 80% run, you would likely see somebody go get a spear. Spear is really
What's
useful
this?
for out of bounds clipping and for our fastest movement technique that we have accessible to us in ending A. But
So-
interestingly enough, they seem to be killing the tank.
Humans sure
Yeah,
are
I did
strange
catch it
creatures.
earlier. I believe Icarus went and got the spear, just going inbounds down the sewers, picking it up, and then going back. So
Oh, okay. So
Tsugoii,
they were probably
yes.
worried. So if you mess
People
up
around
the
me well
coaster,
usually call
you
me Nine.
don't have a
So-
great opportunity to get the spear. There is a way you
So
can
what do you think?
go out of bounds and grab it after Bouvoir,
I
but
mean,
they probably
if
wanted to
you
just
wanna call me
guarantee,
Nines, it's totally
mistake or
okay.
not, that they are definitely getting that spear.
Oh,
As oh no, they've
alright.
messed
Oh.
up the triggers. Then they don't.
I think I think Damage Glitch did that intentionally after. Not too sure. I think it's the first trigger that they've missed. I don't think it's necessarily one of the later ones, so pulling the coaster again might not do it.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna do it. So we may. So it's one of the funny things that with these intricate glitches, sometimes people can, when things get off, if you're not if you don't have that in-depth knowledge of how the glitch works, or you a lot of the time do have it, but you're just sort of under the nerves of a live run, just misremembering or doubting yourself and being like, oh, maybe I should do something else for safety, you can really wind up getting yourself in a pickle here. So want to keep our eye on that as we see our other runners all fighting the lovely lady Bouvoir.
Yep, a very familiar fight for everyone. It's not quite an auto scroller, but there is very little variance between them. So we shouldn't see anything too crazy.
Unless we see any hacks coming out, there's a couple phases of fighting the androids that are
Are we
strung up here on the
seriously being attacked
crosses,
with
and
dead
the
androids?
camera angle
Wait,
can make it extremely difficult to see the waves of hacking that come at you, as we Icarus right here demonstrating exactly what I mean.
I've just realized
This
that
ends
with the
now.
current setup, I could actually highlight what goal we're talking about. So,
Ah.
yeah, didn't think of that.
Okay. Damage Glitch got it. They've got themselves into the blue bar fight. They haven't got themselves in a soft lock situation. So, NieR Automata is a game that the people who run it know is known for its various fun soft locks. So, very glad not to see that happen in our Bingo-thon run.
Yeah, it's a very scary one to risk messing up as well. Because if you miss one of those triggers, it's hard to figure out which one you're missing. And you'll ride it again and again, still not working, and you think you've done everything, and it adds up very fast. So, do you have your eyes on anything that we might see runners do? Since after going through the amusement park, we head over to Pascal's village and then back to resistance camp. So there's definitely some opportunities here for different things runners could do. So
Thanks for
Yeah,
any you got your eyes on?
I'm looking at the eye runner to probably buy a weapon
We have to save
in
those
Pascal's
androids.
village. I
I'm
think
sorry,
will
Tsugoii.
probably be
I-
pretty likely. I'd expect. Oh, they were riding the coaster back
What
into
is
the
it?
station.
That
That's what
machine
Icarus
had
was
some
doing. There's a
pretty
goal
weird
to
things
ride
to
the
say,
coaster all the
huh?
way back into the
It's almost
station.
like
So
it
they
had
were making
actual
sure
emotion.
The machines
that
don't have feelings.
they
You said
did
that
that while
yourself.
they were
Yeah,
their most convenient story
I
progress. I
guess.
apologize for the flame.
Yeah.
Um,
So, yep, looks like I can highlight it correctly. Yeah, bottom left there for the letter
Hostiles.
I. That runner will be looking to ride the coaster back to the station. So
It could.
yeah,
does actually play out pretty good.
Yeah, so they actually, normally when you first go there and hop on the coaster, you hop off at the halfway point. If you do it legit, and then if you do it with the any percent glitch, you're also not on the coaster, so you're not riding it when it goes around. So, actually, sort of intentionally breaking the triggers there, let them do it in a more convenient way.
Yeah. So one that I want to highlight coming up here is the equip a blue ribbon goal. So the blue ribbon is from the Lost Girl quest, where originally you speak to an NPC at Pascal's village, and then you head off
So
to
why
the
don't
desert
machines,
to go
or
and
the
find the
aliens
Lost
who
Girl
created
and
them,
escort
attack
her
the
back.
bunker directly?
We may
They
see some other
originally
runners
came here
go for
from outer
that here.
space, right?
Just
Well,
picking up
there are a
early,
few
starting it
theories
so that
about
it's
that,
available the
but
next
no one
time
knows
they're in
for
the
sure.
desert.
Hard to
Yeah, we
tell
have
what an
3
alien
of our
is
4
thinking,
runners have to do that goal, I believe, and N, E, and R. Only the I runner gets to skip it. So.
Yeah, lucky
They all
them.
have white flags.
Looks like they
It's
really don't
a
want to
very
fight.
long and slow one, but some good dialogue to vibe to at least.
Yeah. Let's see. We've got some other, it'll be interesting to see. We've got some quests here. Wandering Couple will have to be done by a couple runners. That'll take a moment, but that's sort of a notoriously long quest with a lot of different pieces to it. So we'll see when people choose to
She sure
start
cares about her
putting
little
that one
sister, huh?
together.
Still, it's pretty funny to hear
6 red
machines
mail
talk
is
about
another quite
siblings.
interesting
Do you think she
goal.
just means
When
they
do you
were built at
expect
the
to see
same
that
factory or
completed, Ame?
something?
Maybe.
That one could be very much towards the end. There's a lot of mail that you'll just pick up while progressing through the game. Someone might go out of their way to try and pick up a couple of extras, but usually after you defeat the Anglos in the city fight, there are a couple more mails that can come through just from running around. So I would expect that one to be passive. And one I've been looking at is the middle one. Picking up the DLC elevator in the flooded city, you just have to visit it. But coming up here, a lot of our players are going to be doing, or all of
2D
our
here.
players
What's
hopefully,
wrong?
will be doing a death warp. And there's no reason why that
Yeah, I
if we
really
have
hope to
this,
see.
yeah, we could see them go down and visit it and then have a little accident in the flooded city while they're there.
Yeah, I really hope to see people taking advantage of that little
I am
routing
definitely not the
optimization.
person to discuss this with.
Because if you've played the game normally, you might think, oh well, you've got to progress in the story before you can go all the way down there into the flooded
You
city.
leaving
But
would be bad for me.
we can
It would
actually
affect mission
zoop
efficiency.
ourselves right out of bounds, and it's conveniently located here just behind the resistance camp. So we can use our very fast
All
downward
Model B
plunge
combat
to
units require the
zip straight
assistance of an
down there, and
operator.
yeah, it's conveniently got some very high level enemies.
So,
Have
Another
we
one.
identified who's running E and who's running
That's
R?
I
For
believe Riker is doing E and Icarus is doing R.
got it. It's hard to tell from their board since they've both just done the gold ore chest. We see neither of them going down to the flooded city. Interesting.
Ooh, it's a bit of a lost opportunity, honestly.
You know, it may just be a case of just, head down. I'm just gonna get transporting and figure it all out from there.
It very well could be. Another one that I don't think we've seen any of the runners go for. Uh, Picking up the Phoenix Dagger. Now, the Phoenix Dagger is in the very bottom of the ravine, and just so happens to be right outside of where you come out of Pascal's village. So I am a little surprised we didn't see anyone just pick that up. But it could be that some of them are trying to find a different detour, a more optimal time to pick it up. But there's not that much that goes near there.
Where is
Um,
Will, or where's Damage Glitch? Is that are they at the spear?
uh, they are at the spear, yeah.
Oh, they're trying to clip back in. Oh, so if you go to the spear, you can clip back over towards the amusement park. But they're trying to clip back through instead of, you can go around and it only takes 15 seconds to go around here.
Yeah, it's not that big. I think this is a
She sure cares.
this is a bit of a mental block more than anything here. Just struggling and insisting on going through
Do you
it.
think she just means
So
they were
to
built at the
throw
same
some shade back
factory or
on
something?
myself, I have run Bingathon several times, and I think at this point I'm pretty known for failing Mega Jump. So there's a trick to get into the amusement park early known as Mega Jump, and I have definitely been known to sit there and run my head into that wall over and over and over for more than 10 minutes on the Bingathon stream. So as we see, wow, I actually think the part that Damage Glitch just did of that sprout is much harder than the clip that they are messing up. So
Yeah, that is much harder, and definitely the mega jump thing. I have done it as well. You can see Riker right here taking the detour now to go and pick up the Phoenix Dagger by the looks of it.
you'll love to
So-
see it.
That will be the bottom right down here.
But it is a great showcase there that of some clips that these people are doing, that people found these clips, these ways to get out of bounds that never wound up being useful in the 80% run. So it's great to see people using it for just efficient movement through the map in bingo.
Yeah.
Do I have time for a very quick message?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Oh, thank you. Just wanted to say very quickly that this is the end of my hosting shift for me and Flotsam, but will be replaced by the wonderful Rexy and Proasec. So you are in good hands. So just before handing it back over to you guys, just want to say finally, once again, raising money for a great cause, Project Hope. You can donate by typing ! donate in the chat. Amazing, we've reached more than 1,100 euros so far. So keep it going, everyone, and enjoy the run. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Pika.
you.
Yeah.
Always lovely to have you. All right, so looking at a bit of story progress from Icarus, actually choosing to kill the city angles. I don't believe it's one of the goals. One
Maybe
of the perks
just
of
for
doing
money?
this- Yeah, so one of the perks of doing this is killing it will cause it to drop the machine core. And due to the lovely coding of this game, for whatever reason, a cutscene will duplicate it and collect it. So that's going to be an extra 20,000 gold for Icarus. Not sure if it's necessarily needed on this board.
I
But
think so. Both
could
the
be.
I and E players need to do the bottom row there, and to do that, they'll need to have the P and M shields active at the same time and kill 4 enemies with pod counterattack. So that's 3 different pods that they're going to need to buy, and they're also doing the top row, which has a machine weapon bought from 2 different shops. So that is a decent amount of shopping that they have to do. The I player also has to buy an item from 7 different shops. So there's quite a bit of shopping that needs to get done. So the money routing may actually have been a really good forward-thinking move there to make sure that they don't run all the way out. There's a shop that's way out in the middle of the forest, and if you show up there without enough money, you're gonna be really sad.
There is also another one that's really big that I've just noticed is the top middle one, complete the Wandering Couple.
Yeah.
This quest notoriously requires 50,000 gold to complete. If you don't have
True.
50,000 gold, you're gonna be in a bit of a struggle.
Wait, the
So-
iPlayer actually needs so much money.
Yeah.
Wow, so is that... No, we saw Icarus. So Icarus is playing E. Oh no, they have to do it as well. So that's actually really smart by Icarus. They need every scrap of money that they can get. You know, money routing is something that it's very relevant in some bingos and quite a few. You just have all the money you could ever need. So you know, you can definitely fall into the trap of just assuming you're going to have all the money that you need and not really consciously routing in any chests or you know, additional money into it. So
Yeah.
really happy to see that.
And I want to point out here, Icarus, one of our lovely any percent runners, showing off just how broken this game can be in the hands of a speedrunner. So instead of going over to the negotiations fight where you talk to Alan and Steve, as we love to call them, we're going to go on a bit of a detour and talk to this guy who really wants to talk to us about stamps. He's going to give us a stamp card, except if we don't continue through the dialogue, it doesn't actually give us the stamp card yet. We can pull this dialogue all the way through towards the cutscene. Usually, when you enter a cutscene, any dialogue that you have playing will be cancelled, but it just so happens that the fact he gives you an item halfway through the dialogue allows you to pull it into the cutscene and essentially skip out all of the fight. All of the fight is based on a dialogue trigger. You know, when they finish talking, the fight's over. So we're gonna sit here, we're gonna talk to this guy about some stamps while stuff happens in the background. And then all of a sudden, they'll pop up and go away. And it's a big, you know, 30-40 second time save coming from both Icarus and Tsugoii at the same time here.
Yeah, it's
but one of the quirks of this is you can't skip the cutscene. Just
it is,
one of
yeah.
the ways.
It's a great example of like a time where it's actually faster to watch a long cutscene than it would be to skip it. Because if you were to try to skip the cutscene, you would drop that text box off your screen that you're using to cancel an even longer section of dialogue.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I love the EDS trick. It's one of, I think it's probably the most recent big you know, chunk of time that was saved in the run at this point. It's not all that recent anymore, but it's such a clever trick that really, you know, combines some interesting movement as well as just you know, is put together with some really great game knowledge. So I love to see it.
I love it too. It's such a unique trick that it's not like anything else we see in the game. So bottom left and top right here, you can see that Icarus and Tsugoii have now unlocked the ability to fast travel. So this is where we're going to see a lot of the goals coming to play. Tsugoii went over to the bunker.
Get near that
I
guy's
didn't
feet.
quite catch where Icarus was going to, but
Well,
it
let's
looked
find
like
another
somewhere
way.
other than the bunker. So this is where they start to divert.
Yeah, we will probably see
The flight units should be on
you
the
know,
roof
story
of that
progress
building up
end and
ahead.
Icarus
It'll be
just
dangerous,
go
but
running
we're not
around
going
picking up,
anywhere unless we pass
you
through
know,
that
an
Goliath's
assortment of
ranks.
goals. I
We
think
should be
here
careful.
they're checking off a shop that I would have. This is a creative way that they're picking up some of these buffs that they might need. Buffs are great for combat. Although I think they've already shopped here before on the 80% route, so they're not taking off a new shop here, but they are completing Jackass's research.
Yeah, Jackass's research. It's just a bunch of fights. This specific goal, you don't actually need to complete the quest itself. We only care about the fights that go on over the desert. So sometimes you'll see this on the goals and you won't complete it. But judging by the fact that right underneath it is complete for side quests, I imagine Icarus is probably going to want to post that one as well.
Yeah, it also gives you a mail as well. If I forget if that's part of the R, is that square, or is Icarus is E?
Icarus is R.
Icarus,
Icarus
is R.
will be doing mail as well, so yeah.
So
likely-
yeah, it's a nice little 3-for-1.
Likely all three and at the same time. Very, very nice routing coming out of just the letters themselves. You can't even put that one on the player.
Very creative choice of them to do the letter that they were assigned ahead of time on the board, but it does wind up pretty nice.
The skies are
So,
packed with anti-air weapons.
we see
Make sure to approach
I'm
the
surprised we
ES being
haven't-
started by damage glitch.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen anyone visit the factory. Because we've got in the top left and on the left hand side a bunch of factory goals that are simply just go visit the factory.
Yeah, I think, it's one of those goals, the die in the factory silo retrieve your body, so goals in bingo here have this sort of push-pull of like time it takes to complete them versus how much story progress is required, and that's when it requires no story progress. You can do it right at the start. But it really is a lot more efficient to get back to the factory when you have transporting, unless you can do some creative stuff with activating the transporter there. But then without transporting, even though you've relatively efficiently got back to your body, you're kind of stuck really far out of the way without a way to quickly transport out to somewhere else. So I was wondering if we might see anyone do it early and see if they could avoid the story progress needed altogether. But with the amount of goals that they're doing in these letters, it can be pretty difficult.
We've intercepted
Yeah.
Ooh,
a
I
signal
think we've
belonging
seen
to the
Icarus
aliens.
accidentally
These are the creatures that are in direct command of the machine life forms on this
cancel the
planet.
dialogue,
If we
or
can
did
destroy
they
them,
kill
we
too
can
early
end
before
this
picking
long
up the
and
dialogue?
arduous-
But
It
they're
seems
gonna
to be
have to
underground. Like way
they're not gonna get to
underground.
skip
Guess we'll see once we get
the
there.
the dialogue
lucky.
from Adam and Eve as they
You're
would
not much
normally
for
like
plans,
to.
are you, 2B?
That's pretty big. Having to sit through that fight is at this point an entire minute. So
I will say, as a fellow NA runner, Damage Glitch and I both don't understand time zones at all, and thought that Bingothon was tomorrow, and only just realized it quite recently that it was today. So sleep may be a large factor here for several of our runners. We have NieR runners from all across the world, and having everyone show up at the same time, I'm very grateful that we're able to pretty much every Bingothon get us together from across our different time zones all at the same time.
yeah. I just want to point out, it looks like Damage Glitch did miss one of the triggers. Didn't get the fight started, so even more time just trying to figure out what trigger was missed. Looks like it was probably just the cave one. We have to plunge very specifically, but yeah, it was just the cave one. But that is more time that just adds up. It's giving a lead over to Icarus and Riker.
Yeah, the Icarus fights Robo Dojo for, I believe they have to go up to brown belt here. So Robo Dojo is a fun
Are they
little side quest where you get to
2B.
fight Father Servo
Look.
over and over. And the damage glitches make short work of him at first, but if you have to go all the way up to black belt, you can wind up spending a
Welcome.
solid minute throwing damage
To the
glitches into
graveyard
Father
of
Servo,
our
depending on when
creators.
you attempt it.
Yeah, he levels up very quickly. First couple of fights, you're pretty much, zooming along, picking up some items, going back to him. You will see some of the runners potentially doing this quest already having the items, because it is possible. I believe the first quest, the white belt, is just an item that you'll always have. But the second one, I believe, is memory
Back this way
alloys,
again?
which some of the runners
What a
may or may
pain.
not have gone to
Stop
pick up early.
complaining.
Yeah, it's a creative bit of routing that the quest
operator
will
six
give you a
zone. We now
guaranteed
have an
location you
operational
can go
transporter
and
in the
obtain the
secret
quest
room.
items,
We're
but
attempting to deploy
none of
the
those
meta
items are
deployment
quest exclusive or that are
About time
only
we had access to
obtainable
those.
during Father
Care to fill me
Servo's
in?
fights. So if you've
Transporters?
already managed
They
to
let you
route one
transfer
in,
your
then you
consciousness
can
to a temporary
skip the
body
fetch
back in
quest
the
portion
bunker.
and just
I
stay
heard
there
some tech
fighting him
guys
on
talking
repeat.
about it a while ago, but I
All
didn't
right,
know
as
they
we see
finally got
6
it working.
male
Hey,
red from
you're
Icarus
up
taking
next.
advantage
So this has a
of
transport.
Jackass's fish. And
Yeah.
Tsugoii doing Rainbow Road here over to get their A2 fight on.
Yeah, hard on the story for Tsugoii. Just pumping it out, getting all the way through. It does give you access to a bunch of shops. It doesn't necessarily give you much more than that. I don't
No, I
know.
believe she needs to do it for camp development, right?
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Camp development, yep. Quest where you have to talk to an enemy. That one
Yeah,
is locked
Commander
behind
sure
A2.
is a slave driver, huh? And now we have to go
I
back
Yeah.
don't
to
know
the
if
city
we've got
ruins.
play some memories on here as well.
As you see
Where do the
Tsugoii
rest
do
of
one
them
of
get
my
to be?
other
been a
favorite
while.
tricks of the run
I'll
is
rest if
you
I feel like it.
climb some out of bounds windows that are just perfectly placed for you to be able to climb the outside of this castle. It's one of those tricks that really feels like, did they purposefully design this out of bounds geometry for us?
It definitely feels that way sometimes. It looks like we do have place of memories on there, but it's in a position where, at least with the letters we're doing, none of the runners will be doing that goal. So it will just be the camp development up in the
Poor
top left.
poor lonely Emil. His place of memories is on the board, but no one's coming to visit them, even on our bingo.
Not gonna lie, it's a rough one. It's one of the longest goals we have in bingo. So it's not too surprising that runners will
I
not
do
be
think our
doing that
runners
one.
are all happy to see that they don't have to complete that goal today.
Yeah, there are definitely ways to cheese it. You can just repeatedly pick up the same flower by abusing the fact that you can just die and respawn, and Emil seems to have forgotten that he's already been there.
I didn't actually know you could do that. Is that a more recent discovery, MA?
It's been a
Am I
couple
just
of years at this point. I
that's
think you're
that's really clever.
just not in the loop with that one.
I've not done a longer category in quite some time, so
Yeah, it's a fun little quirk of the 100% route. We can see in the top right, Icarus is now selling a bunch of stuff. Probably going to sell off a bunch of chips.
oh my,
Just-
look at all those chips.
That's a lot of gold too. Over 100k at Forest.
Well, and I think they're gonna need with Wandering Couple and all the shopping they need to do. I think they're gonna need that 100k.
Yeah, especially Wandering Couple. You know that eats half of it instantly.
Are they doing managers requests? Is that on the board? Oh, for complete 4 side quests. It's just an efficient side quest to do.
Operator
that's
60
fair.
to
The reason you see me questioning is it's one of so normally there's a quest behind manager's request. There's a whole area back there. It's one of the few quests that is actually skippable with a glitch in that if you can just clip and go around that gate. So I was surprised to see him do it, but that makes sense. It's just a relatively fast quest to do for their 4 total.
Yeah.
You see them use their 2 pods to have P and M shields. I think they actually missed that there, but if they mark the goal, I'm going to give it to them. But I think they actually started it right at the end. You have to... So there's a weird way, so you can use... you can charge the pod, and if you have 2 pods, you can wind up getting a charged version of the shield that lasts a little longer. And for whatever reason, with the pods that we get, if you use one of the pods, you can sort of charge and use both pods at the same time, but then still switch to the other one and not have it still be active. And it only works in the right configuration. There we go. As we see them get both P and M shields active, they noticed it. And they fixed it, and that you see they did that double charge into having their other pod still uncharged. It's a glitch that's extremely easy to do accidentally casually, to the point where you might not be sure which was the intended mechanic. Was it supposed to use the charge of both pods, or was it supposed to not use the charge on both pods?
Yeah, so 2 other very interesting things going on right now. Tsugoii is on the Jackass fights, in the top right. And we see Riker going into the factory, being the first one to head over there for the, I believe he's already picked up the entrance transporter, and also just dying in one of the silos. Any one of the large round buildings, just die in there, pick up your body. A bunch of them will have enemies in them, not all of them. But it's just one of those cases that you go in there, you die, you go back, you pick up, and you're good to go. It looks like Icarus is also heading over right now.
Yeah, it's as we see Riker taking the normal route to the factory. It's a fun goal to include because there are some fun factory clip outs that people know that are not normally, you don't normally have a chance to get to showcase them, but I definitely understand that, because of that, there's not a lot of runners who are real practiced at those clip outs, and they may not want to to risk spending significant amounts of time trying to get out of bounds movement that they're not used to. Out of bounds movement in this game is tricky. There's a lot of of floor that is visually there but not actually there, or vice versa. So
Yeah, the factory has definitely changed over the years as far as speedrunning has gone. It started off very, very tame, close to the 80% route, and just every year it seems to get crazier and crazier. So
A classic stubby death. I think this was a good choice as opposed to getting that big guy to punch you can take so long.
Icarus is having a bit of a rough time though. Almost get caught in a soft block there. Looks like he did make it out, but having a hard time getting up there.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, the interesting out of bounds movement and the risk of doing it when you've not practiced a clip that is otherwise. Is there a category that uses that sort of like, you know, in the 80%
Yeah.
route during prologue, we go through this path the normal way, but this is sort of doing a reverse route.
So all endings, 98% and 100% will do that. They'll go up there, they'll go backwards through there. They'll quite often clip out. I think it's only Hundo that wants to go back through the factory, kind of like the reverse of the prologue. But there are a bunch of categories that do want to go and use these clips, so people have found ways to use them.
If you run NieR, watching Icarus there is very entertaining, as they did their bridge skip inputs, but with a spear instead. So
Drilled into the brain with hundreds and hundreds of hours of practice, I'm sure. And not even an exaggeration, I know some of the runners have put literally hundreds of hours into prologue practice at this point. So overwriting the muscle memory. You can see Riker's just not having it, lowers the bridge.
You can't blame them. You can't blame them. They've got enough in their mind.
Yep, and Riker's picking up the body. Meanwhile, in the bottom left, Tsugoii is doing the lovely quest for the blue ribbon, the Lost Gold quest, where we just escort a lovely little machine back home through the desert at a blistering 1 mile an hour.
Is that a visually modded spear as well?
Yeah, I believe it's...
What is that spear? It looks familiar.
I think it might be one of the reincarnation ones. Is it reincarnation? Or it's Icarus? I can't remember. I could be wrong.
But it looks sick either way.
There are a lot of mods out there.
Yeah, it's a... I think this quest that Tsugoii is doing is one of many people's least favorite quests, is you just have an extended escort quest while she asks you socially awkward questions. Although I think, you know, many of us have also done this quest in real life with a friend, so...
Yep, that's definitely been a case for everyone at this point, I think. I think some of us are getting on. We see damage glitch is now going back to story progress, it looks like. Just picking up that A2. I would be very surprised if we see runners not pick up A2. Just having the ability to buy a lot of materials is super handy, even if you're not sure if you need it. Just throwing in that extra couple of minutes to get the shop probably a safer option than running the risk and then finding out when you're a bit too late.
I think every runner, you know, I was talking earlier, we might have some not do A2, but I missed seeing that camp development goal, which is in 3 of our 4 runners' boards. And then the Eye is the only one left, and they are going to have to upgrade Phoenix Dagger. So unless they're creative with the Phoenix Dagger materials, they will probably do A2 so that they can buy those materials from Emil. But they're the only one who have the possibility of skipping it there.
Yep. And one goal that's definitely an option for any runner at any point right now is killing 4 different types of enemies with pod counterattacks. We class that as just anything that's visually different, I believe. So like a little stubby-legged one, a little small biped, a little medium biped, kind of like what you see on Tsugoi's stream. Any of those variants, just kill 4 different ones with the pod counterattack. But you'll see people do that during the run. You won't necessarily see them go out to hunt for it, but it's one of those things that you kind of want to wrap up short and sweet, because you'll forget what you've done an hour ago.
Yeah, it's a funny one in that if you've played casually, you may not have even ever realized that pod counterattack was an option, and if you speedrun, you also may have never realized that pod counterattack was an option. It's one of those things where NieR doesn't explain. There's a lot of things you can do in 2B's moveset that the game just never tells you that you can do, and so like I played casually the entire time without ever knowing that plunge was in the game. So it's fun to see it get a use here. It's not really useful in speedrunning at all, but so it's nice to see a little goal for it to, have pod counterattack's existence acknowledged, get to see some of those wonderful animations.
Yeah, we got a...
Do we have time for a quick donation?
Oh, absolutely. Go for it.
All right, okay then. So we have a 10-euro donation from Game Commander saying NieR and Bingothon, my favorite speedrun tradition. I'm always happy to see NieR like this.
Doesn't it?
Oh, that
Yes,
guy's
it
really
does.
cool. Good
Yeah.
for him donating $10.
What a
What's
nice
It
guy.
is always good, yes, but of course that's not gone towards any incentive. We do still have one open for people who are keeping track at home. Our penultimate run later on today is Like Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name, and for that we have a language choice bid war between English and Japanese. I have a preference, I'm not going to state it, but I can tell you that it is quite close. We are 41.50 euros to 37 euros, not 70 anything. In favor of English. So if people want to see the balance shift perhaps, or maybe increase the lead, then there are ample opportunities. There's a lot of time left on that. I'm curious to see how high that gets. So let's see if we can make it happen. But with that, I believe we're good to send it back to the runner.
Yep. So, as I was gonna say, Icarus is taking a bit of a weird route into the forest. I do believe he picked up all of the story triggers, but I'm not too sure what he detoured back through. He did a clip out that we usually don't see any percent story. It might have been a bunch of quest progress heading towards completing the camp development, which is notorious for needing a lot of different quests to unlock it. But yeah, definitely a bit of a weird one from Icarus there. I'm sure there's a little plan behind it. And we're also seeing Riker riding the amusement park roller coaster back to the station. If you go on it after you've completed the amusement park stuff, it just takes you on a little nice journey, kill a few enemies, and then go back to the station. It's kind of like the vanilla, not too crazy option of doing this. Not as crazy as breaking all the triggers and then getting it unintentionally.
Yeah, and Riker is E or R? I think they're E, right?
Yeah. I'm
So
sure you
they've-
remember by the end.
so they've nicely combined it here. Getting stuck on that invisible wall. That's a fun wall. That there's an invisible wall there while you ride the coaster that doesn't disappear if you continue touching it. So runners who are trying to quickly as possible get off just find themselves repeatedly unable to leave, and you actually have to back off for a second and let that wall go away. Which I may have totally explained wrong, but in effect that is practically how it winds up working.
Yeah, it's pretty much. I believe there's like a little trigger at the very, as the camera is looking at you at the very back of the scene. If you touch the very, very back, the wall just unloads for whatever reason. I don't know why. But you either know or you don't, and if you don't, it's a struggle for sure.
But creative routing that we saw earlier, damage glitch, route the coaster into when they were there for story progress, and instead we see Riker actually routing in, coming back for a side quest and shopping, as they are definitely looking up what mats they need to upgrade Phoenix Dagger right now. That's why you see them sat here on this screen.
Absolutely on the wiki right now.
Absolutely, the wonderful Vexor Life wiki that is about 30 to 40% correct on things in this game, so you love to see it.
I do believe we saw Icarus pick up the Wandering Couple quest. I'm
That's
not
a fun
sure
one.
what progress has been made so far, but it does seem to be heading down to the flooded city, so might have
Is
already
this the
progressed
thing?
that quite a bit.
Look,
You think we're...
let's
Yeah, it's interesting to see the different routing choices and how different runners find a way to efficiently complete the goal, but in different ways. As we see Icarus plunging down to the elevator here, hopefully not getting stuck inside. Very nice.
Yeah, it's if you do plunge forwards, you go full speed ahead. You can actually end up loading in the elevator while you're inside of it. There is a way out. You can aggro the enemies around you, and they can kill you through the wall. But yeah, you don't want that to happen.
I think it's a rite of passage for every 80% runner when they're first, learning the speed run to learn that firsthand.
We've all been there. And you just pray that somebody is in your Twitch chat like, hey, you can do this to get out.
Looking at the board, Icarus is just absolutely zooming here. I mean, look how many goals they have done.
Yeah, a mile ahead. But it's also going to be pressure on Riker as well to keep up. It looks like they're just doing Wandering Couple at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they've done A2 though. That might explain some of the difference if they haven't done A2. If they have done A2, then
I believe
Icarus
he's done A2 at this point.
Wow, Icarus is an MVP of this bingo because the R letter is not particularly short. So
yeah, that is crazy pace coming from Icarus. So yep, it's now gonna just be going back to the amusement park, and that would wrap up the Wandering Couple quests, which is
yeah, God, they still have some long ones. Camp Development, Wandering Couple, Blue Ribbon. A little bit. They could have already completed the machine weapon from 2 different shops. They should be able to, quickly transport back to Forest and get that done. But so they've got 3 relatively lengthy quests and then 1 quick shopping pickup, and then Icarus will be done and on to the fish to try to help Riker.
Yep. We can also see at the same time Damage Glitch on the other side doing the Retrieve the Confidential Intel quest. There's going to be a bunch of different enemies around the city ruins that you've got to kill. They're in very specific positions. If you've done it once, you probably remember where they all are. But yeah, just going around picking up those, making progress on that goal, while Tsugoii is in the forest.
Yeah, what do you
sure.
think Tsugoii's up to? Maybe they're developing the camp? Like that be what they're up to?
I honestly, I couldn't tell you. I have no clue. Might have just not picked up the forest transporter as well.
Tsugoii, she's on the N here. What? Is it?
No getting through.
It must be camp development, surely.
Yeah, because the N doesn't have the Royal Chamber transporter. So, and if they're going to Masamune, if she's doing that, then she's out there. She's sightseeing on her way to Masamune, if that's what she's up to. So maybe just picking a transporter.
Commercial, so it does look like it probably is towards camp development.
Got it, as I get an ad break on Riker's stream, and I have no idea what they're up to.
He's just running away.
Looks like Riker is on story progress right now. Kind of the machine in the commercial facility, so picking up that A2 progress in the story. Same as everyone else, we're gonna do it. So going, yep, killing off the biped.
Getting landed on.
Looks like the forest is just ahead.
That's
it's
scary.
That was so scary when you're like, alright, I've killed it, and then it just lands right on top of you. I didn't even realize that had a hitbox. That's funny.
Oh yeah, it can hit you twice too. So one of the very, very weird quirks of this game is an enemy can hit you, but the some of them have like electric shielding or whatever on their legs or their bodies, as you can see on the Damage Glitch's screen. That can also hit you at the same time, and it completely ignores any other like temporary pauses in damage you receive or iframes or anything like that. So very
we wind up quite underleveled in the speedrun as we go on, because we are able to skip through so much fighting. So some of the enemies that we're fighting in these more towards run quests that we see Team NI doing do scarily large amounts of damage. Now, the game is pretty generous in that when you get hit down to low health, you get a pretty noticeable slowdown to heal in. but if you're not prepared, you can panic seeing the slowdown, and we have seen runners die in Bingothon before, so.
I can't remember how long ago it was, but I remember there was one where we played on hard difficulty, and that was a field day.
That was a fun one for people who don't know. The hard difficulty is not that different in that many ways, but the damage is higher, and yours truly played and did not realize that it removes your ability to lock on. And I do all combat via locking on, and I've never aimed anything manually before, so I was turbo dying hard difficulty trying to defeat Adam. I ran out of buffs, I ran out of heals.
We can see Tsugoii here doing the Robo Dojo quests. I believe that's just the white belt there. So I must have
Robo
lost
Dojo, is that
somehow.
is that the villain in Powerpuff Girls?
Oh, Mojo Jojo?
Oh, that one. Got it.
Yeah. Very similar.
All right, and what's Icarus going out of bounds for? Is that just an efficient route for to get over towards Camp? Oh no, wait, that's in bounds. That's in bounds. I thought they were doing the forest out of bounds.
I did catch there. Riker did do a counterattack with the pod against some of the stubby enemies in the forest castle. So a little bit of progress towards that one.
Yeah, May,
looks
when
like
you
he has
said
marked it up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, May, when you said you should do all of them at the same time, so you remember, they promptly said, "Nope, I'm gonna remember. Let's just do it 15 minutes apart from each other."
Yeah, I couldn't.
Annihilation.
I would forget immediately what I've done.
To be.
So we see a lot of people transporting right now. So
Yeah, Team ER is looking pretty dominant here as we see 2 goals ticked off for Riker.
I will say though, Tsugoii has a lot of goals that aren't exactly that long to complete. The TNM shield, 2 factory goals, Robo Dojo, she's already halfway completing. Flooded City Elevator, she's got a lot of goals that she can very quickly tick off. So we could see a swing here pretty soon.
Yeah, this wound up being, I think this is probably, we've done, spelling bingo as, I don't know if we gave you that term or if Pika invented that, but I really like that as a way to explain what we're doing. But we've done spelling bingo before, and I think this is maybe the longest spelling bingo board that we've done. As I very sleepily picked it out, I did not quite realize the number of quite lengthy goals on here. So we're definitely getting a marathon here for the runner.
We're definitely getting some fishing as well. The best part of it. That's what I play this game for. I don't know about the rest of you. So we see Icarus, back in the forest, finishing his A2 progress. I believe that's 4 for 4 now. Just going towards that camp development quest. It looks like he hasn't finished Wandering Couple, but I'm sure he'll just go over there to complete that at some point. It's not that difficult to go and complete it. And Tsugoii dying in the factory. She will have to go back in there to pick it up, but starting to knock off some of those goals.
So, May, what are the steps of the Wandering Couple quest?
Oh boy. So you talk to them, and then I believe they want some kind of gadget. I can't tell you which one it is. So you go off, you go get them their gadget, you come back, and then they're like, okay, thanks. And then they just so happen to be in the flooded city later in the day. Nice people, lovely. They just need a small loan of 50,000 gold for some purpose or other. I don't think it's ever explained. Talk to them a couple of times, give them the gold, and then all of a sudden they're back in the amusement park for the little wrapping up.
Why did you ask Pascal about
So
A2?
a lot of steps, but
It's
a
not
lot of it
recommended
is
to interface with
items and
machines
gold.
without
And
consulting command.
I think they're spending money. Like, who are they giving the money? There's not that many people in this world. Well, I guess androids left in
you
this
can
world.
get a
Like,
lot for 50,000 gold in this game.
yeah, I mean, how many buffs do they need? Like, is it me learning any percent? I'm confused.
How many recoveries are they going through?
99 medium, 99 large, 99 smalls. You never know.
Yep. Riker talking to our good friend Emil in the bottom right. Emil is essentially our item vendor. Sells all kinds of materials and a bunch of chips that can be useful. I don't think we'll see any chips this time, but the items for upgrading weapons super handy. But it does look like he got locked behind some dialogue. 6-0 really wants to talk to you about flowers for a solid minute if you don't catch it perfectly. And looks like he was just a little unlucky on that one.
Welcome.
Where is Tsugoii going?
Oh,
they're just Tsugoii's just leaving the factory normally instead of death warping out.
Yeah, a bit of a strange choice, but did pick up the body. Has picked up the transport. Just hasn't marked the retrieving the body off yet.
Probably waiting to mark during a transport.
The smart thing to do. And Icarus is having a bit of trouble getting a transporter usage off there. Trying to figure out where to go to next.
Perhaps unsure how to start camp development, having just finally fought A2 there.
Surely camp means res camp, right?
That makes way too much sense to me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, definitely not pulling up that wiki right now. And Riker going off to do the Robo Dojo, just like everyone else has been doing.
You get to see a great little high jump there. For those of you who haven't seen NieR speedruns before, we have really great aerial movement tech. There's a lot of different attacks that give you different, horizontal or vertical movement in the air. And when we jump, we get a chance to refresh those. And then we've got various things such as, holding onto the pod to hover and potentially spin. We can throw ourselves with the pod. We can self-destruct to refresh our attacks in the air, and then we can plunge. There's a lot of really creative ways to mix those together to get the combination of horizontal and vertical distance you need.
It looks like Tsugoii is going to be joining Riker on doing a bunch of these Robo Dojo quests. Now, you would think that you don't have to kill the enemies down here, but they're quite notorious for just staying aggroed when you want to go and talk to Father Servo.
Yeah, we were talking about the leave from Icarus, but Icarus had not done A2 and needed to do that, and now has some lengthy quests left. So Tsugoii has sneakily stuck up here and may actually be the first to finish a letter. She gets quite close to completing her end, only 4 goals away.
Yeah, and a lot of these are overlapping too. Completing 4 side quests and the Robo Dojo quests go hand in hand. And Flooded
P&M
City
Shield is quite quick.
Yeah, it's right next to going to the Flooded City. If you're in the res camp, it's only 1 plunge away.
Yeah, Tsugoii may have been the sleeper pick here. Not that there was a draft, but I had not had my eye on her as being the first to complete her letter.
Yeah, and Riker and Damage Glitch are going to be the ones to duke it out while 2 people soon to be fishing, I believe. So,
hello there.
let's take a quick look at some of the goals. I believe both of them have to do
Pascal?
Wandering Couple.
Is that you?
So they're going to have a lot of fun with that one. I hope they've been rooting in their money.
I heard that you were searching for the missing child.
Yeah, you do not want to show up to them asking for 50,000 and take a look at your money and realize that you're near broke.
She's such a good little girl.
Yep. And Damage Glitch does have a lot of quick ones to do. Obtaining a gold ore is very quick. DLC elevator in the Flooded City, also quick. 7 shops, if you've been counting or keeping track of which ones you've used. That's not too bad of a goal, especially if you've been picking up your transporters.
I believe 7 shops is every shop that's possible in this bingo. Does that sound right?
Let's get her back
Or are
to
there
Pascal's
8
village.
total?
I
How'd you get
believe there's
lost out
8
here
total.
anyway?
I don't think there's a goal that uses all of them.
See, we've
There's
got-
there's a lot of shops though.
There's 2 in the Resistance camp, 1 in the desert, 2 in Pascal's village.
Oh, come on now, don't cry.
There's
Did you at least find what you needed?
Masamune.
Yeah,
I've forgotten.
there's technically 2 in the
I'm
bunker.
sure she will.
2 in the
There's
bunker.
also
Even happier to see
1
you
for
back home,
the
safe
pod
and
upgrades
sound.
in res camp. There's also the oil field if you do Jackass's quests. So there's a
Oh,
lot
that's
of
true.
shops.
Okay, so there's actually 10 shops. You're right. Wow, so it's definitely not every shop.
Yeah.
But it's quite a few of them. It's you know, you do have to shop at most of the available places.
No one made the desert.
And
It's
we're
just an area that
seeing
lost all its
team
vegetation due to
co-op
lack of precipitation.
Lost Girl quest
This
right
caused
here.
lasting changes in the
Icarus
soil,
and
which
Riker
means
both
plants aren't
escorting
able
at the exact same time, almost in sync
Soil?
with each other.
I like to
It's
think that they
dirt,
routed that on
ground,
purpose.
The stuff we're walking on.
They really are just like in sync with each other. About 10-15 seconds between them.
And yeah, that'll get them pretty close here. Let's see what's left on Riker's plate. A Phoenix Dagger. I don't know if they have the Phoenix Dagger, but with their story progress, they should be able to buy the materials from a meal and get that without too much difficulty.
6 mail, very free one. The 2 pod shields also very free. Camp development, a very long quest.
Camp development and wandering couple. I'm gonna imagine that, well, at least one of those 2 quests is gonna be fished for by Icarus.
Deep, really. I mean,
Yeah,
where
and
does
there's
the
Tsugoii
wind
marking
blow
off the P&M shields.
What do you think,
2
2B?
goals left for
Don't know,
Tsugoii.
don't care.
2 goals, and here's another one crossed off almost immediately after.
So 1 goal.
So-
It's just the side quest. I haven't looked and see if she's done any, but should have. Robo Dojo is several side quests done. So
Yeah, probably just wants to take off.
there it
the
is.
ribbon.
She's got it. Tsugoii has the N. Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
so
I
the
mean,
fishing begins already.
yeah. Beautiful chef's kiss routing to finish it up right next to a place where you can fish. What is she looking to pull here?
All right. So, as the resident expert in fishing in this game, there are 2 fish and 1
make children.
not quite a
Neither can
fish.
androids, now that I
They're
think
very
about it.
rare on this side here. So we're looking for either a regular swordfish or a machine
Little help here?
swordfish.
Huh?
So both
You're
of
the
these
shadow.
have
Work
just
it
a
out.
little under 1% chance to pull them. Probably catch about 2 to 3 fish a minute.
Wow, it's getting late.
And there's also
Let's get you
a,
home already.
what's it called? The machine lifeform head. It's just like a big golden sphere. It's very rare. I think it's also under 1% from this location. But, you know, maybe she'll get lucky. Maybe she'll pull 1 or 2. We have known runners to pick up fish just out of nowhere.
As she grabs a pod. Very nice.
Yeah, not quite a fish, but takes it out of the pool of things that you can catch, so it's always good to get that early. Let's see, Icarus just going back through the desert with some very, very fancy felines here. But I'm not quite sure what he's looking for. Maybe it's just money routing, picking up some more memory alloys.
What might they? Yeah, money routing.
I'm
Not really quite sure what else.
No.
I guess maybe they've just forgotten about the Desert Center transporter, and yeah, I think they just forgot about that and went for thinking this might be the closest transport.
Could be, could be. Riker is just wrapping up the Lost Girl quest. Has to go back to Pascal's to
Well,
Yep.
talk to the machines and pick up the ribbon, but that's the long part of it done. And you can see Damage Glitch now doing his run through the factory, same as everyone else. Everyone's going there today.
We love the factory. We're just glad to get to see everyone run through it twice. I'm sure all the runners will love that I added that goal into bingo.
Yeah, love it or hate it. There's no in between, that's for sure. But, yeah, we should see a lot of goals being ticked off very soon. Specifically for Damage Glitch as well. There are a lot of quick ones that he just hasn't knocked out yet. So yeah, picking up that body. Knocking out 1 more goal. Let's see if he death warps or if he runs out. Looks like he's running. It's the slower way out, that's for sure. But as he looks for the goal. There we
Tsugoii
go.
just chilling down there with the fish.
We definitely got some fishing enjoyers in the community. And maybe a certain date associated with fishing. I will say no more.
What is fishing percent? What is the time gotten down to?
So I don't think anyone's ran fishing percent in a long time, but it's about 3 hours from what I remember. Just to get every possible thing that you can fish in the game. Now, some of you might be wondering, oh, is there skill to that? No. No, there's absolutely none.
RNG manipulate that? No, it's just sit there and fish. You
Like-
just vibe.
You can save some minutes if you're a speedrunner and you know where you're going. Or you could spend 9 hours trying to catch a beetlefish. Doesn't really matter. So yeah, we see a bunch more transporting. Riker's board is starting to come together, that's for sure. Possibly see the P&M shield, the emails coming through.
Yeah, it actually has turned out to be quite the close race here, as Tsugoii blazing fast, hoping to help out Damage Glitch, who combination of a long board and some unfortunate mishaps lined up a little bit behind in the goals, and then we've got Icarus and Riker, who are both significant progress towards completing. With I think Icarus, if I had to judge, with probably the longest board here. This R included a lot of brutally long goals, so really, props to them for getting through this R as quickly as they have.
Yeah, definitely props to them. There's a lot of routing difficulties in that one. And especially the I as well. The amount of gold that you need to pull that letter off. Damage Glitch is going to be in for a really rough time, but it looks like he's handling it okay. As you said, a couple mishaps, but definitely making swift progress now.
Oh, all right.
It's still anyone's game, and it may come down to the fish from Tsugoii. If Tsugoii can get a good fish or two and skip some long quests from Damage Glitch's point of view, while the board may look sparse, it could end in quite the hurry. I'm curious if they wind up trying to take advantage of that in the routing and sort of leave the longer quests towards the end, in hopes that the fish gods bless them.
Yeah, I've definitely been in that position where we've recommended that a runner does not go for one of the longer goals, and we just bank on the fact that we'll eventually catch a fish, and that will be the goal. They do have the benefit of being able to choose what they mark off should they catch a rare fish.
As we see Tsugoii looking at the wiki description of Phoenix Dagger.
I wonder what she's doing.
Exchanging information with the resistance is a vital part of
I'm guessing coach it helping her teammate figure out, hey, what the hell are the materials for the Phoenix Dagger?
Yeah, that's true.
Great little insight into the runner's minds there via web capture of a bingo board.
I'm sure a game is on the same page as me here. Like, we may know 80 to 90% of the goals, but we're probably going to have the wiki open when we're running anyway. So no shame on Tsugoii for that one.
Not the wiki. They may have not been real sweaty hardcore gamers, but there is actually a community bingo sheet that has details on how to complete all the goals and has little helpful tips and tricks about interesting spots you might be able to pick up the materials. But I think this is more of a sleepy race than a sweaty race today. So so when you need something quick, it's Google time, baby.
Yep. It looks like Icarus is just wrapping up camp development. He's already got the pink, the blue ribbon on, and also wrapped up one win couple. So probably 30 to 60 seconds away from seeing our second fisher in the game.
Yeah, and as Tsugoii, I don't. Did they catch a rare fish and get a wandering couple for Damage Glitch, or did Will complete wandering couple there?
I didn't catch it because the preview I'm watching is not the best bitrate right now, but it does look like that goal was marked off. So I didn't
That's
catch.
a big one.
I didn't catch Damage Glitch doing the quest, so must have been a fish.
That's a big one to tick off. I mean, yeah, you know, some clutch fish here back to back, and we could see Team NI take this.
So, yeah, I honestly can't put together what we're doing right now. Is there any goals in the forest? I think they're all wrapped up. I think it is just elsewhere now.
Okay,
should-
that's the completion for Icarus. Camp development done. It is time for fish. We've got N versus R fishers. Chat, if you have a particular team you're rooting for, you know, it's time to you know, bless the fish gods.
Fish gods are they giveth and they taketh.
As we see, Riker
Sometimes you're lucky.
glitchily, Riker's trying to glitch their way out of bounds there. I always love seeing 2B's animation as she just tries to fall through that box.
Looks like Damage
She
Glitch
wants
is
intel on A2,
also
does she?
looking around,
Where
trying
should
to
we
figure out
start?
what to do.
We could check out the energy reactions
Perhaps looking for the
generated
Phoenix
during battles.
dagger. I have been
usually-
there before, being like,
Androids
it's
and machine
somewhere in this
life forms shut
canyon,
down when they're
right?
destroyed, and we can
Yep,
detect the
yep.
energy
Look, just
released
grabbing
during
a
that
chest. That's not
process.
the Phoenix
We're
dagger
the
chest,
only units doing any
but
combat
they are.
missions in this area, right? So if we detect any stray energy reactions, it probably means A2 is involved. Yeah, okay.
It appears that
We've got some
Tsugoii is
readings
getting a
around-
little distracted. May have had the wandering brain while fishing. It's not the most engaging for Tsugoii at this point, but
You've heard of the wandering couple, but have you heard of the wandering brain?
and at least she's got company from Icarus now. That's a good thing to rely on there. We see Riker going into the flooded city, probably making progress on the wandering couple quest. In the middle of this, where you have to give him a small loan of $50,000, dollary dues, gold, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I would love to see them clean up the short goals here, the P&M shield and the purchase from 2 different machine shops, and the red mail to give their teammate a chance to try and complete this longer goal for them as they look at the map and try to figure out where the hell the couple is, which I think is also something we have all done.
Yeah, there's definitely some weird
bedrock
ones
here
with
was
this quest
bombed
as
out in the
well,
last war.
where
Looks like
you
the whole
actually have
city is starting to sink
jump
as a
into the
result.
water and drown for essentially the state of the quest to progress. You need to unload and reload the NPCs to progress it. So bit of a weird
And
one.
Is that what we
but
need to protect?
Icarus has
take
repositioned their
them out.
fishing so that they're standing next to each other there in spirit as they fish.
Androids.
how wholesome. We see Riker. It looks like Riker visited the DLC elevator there. So that's another goal ticked off. Oh, and a swordfish for Icarus. That's a big one.
That's huge. Camp development done. Okay, I think that right there is a decisive moment for Team
She wants intel
ER.
on A2, does she?
There is not that much to do. The remaining goals are quite short for Riker. You know, that they
Where should
1-2'd
we
camp
start?
We
development
could
plus
check
wandering
out the
couple
energy
there.
reactions
So
generated during battles. The fusion reactors of androids
Yeah,
and
very
machine
quick,
life
but
forms
also
shut
very
down
quick
when they're
goals
destroyed. And we can
for damage
detect the
glitch
energy
too.
released
It
during
could come
that
down to the
process.
wire.
We're the only
If
units doing any combat
Tsugoii
missions in
does
this
pick
area,
up a new
right?
fish.
So if we detect
Yes,
any stray
Tsugoii
energy
needs-
reactions,
another really slow
it
one
probably
and
means A2 is involved.
smooth sailing.
Yeah, okay.
Tsugoii needs some
We've got some
some
readings around the
fish
abandoned factory.
RNG here
I'll put it on the map.
as P&M shields tick off for Riker, and you know, the E starts to take shape, but you know, there's no mistaking it now. They visit the DLC elevator, perhaps wishing that they'd done that during Wandering Couple. Although, oh no, they ticked off Wandering Couple, that's right. So that's why they're probably going to get it now. They probably had intended to route that together.
Yeah, still gotta go for the little detour, but better to have a small detour than a big one, that's for sure.
Activate 6 transporters. I wonder how many transporters they've already done.
Probably most of them.
Is
You
Riker...
pick up a good few in the quests.
What is Riker fishing for? Is that done?
That might be done if Riker's not doing the full size D.
Yeah, I think. Oh, did they not have to do an entire E? What?
I will quickly go and check with them. Bear with me 1 second.
I guess no. Okay, if we look at the letters that we posted, the E is not a full-sized E that I thought it was. So, I think they actually may have just finished. If we look at the letters, I think they may have actually just finished.
Oh, you're correct. Yeah, it looks like Riker is done. So that is a win for Team ER.
All right, congratulations. Yeah, that makes sense because the size of the letter E they've done is a more similar number of goals. The full-sized E would be a couple more. So, yeah, there it is. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations to Icarus and Riker. Very well done. And it looks like Damage Glitch is just, the one to wrap up. I'm sure he'll keep going. There's not that much to go. But yeah, very well played by them.
It'll be an embarrassing one to watch back as I repeatedly talk about Riker going for goals that they do not have to complete.
I think we've both done that all day.
All right, shall we pop people in here for an interview?
Yeah, I think if we could get a quick chat with Icarus and Riker, that would be bro. Hello.
Hello, gamers.
Good evening, gamers.
Did y'all win?
I joined the stream just to hear slander about the last bingo-thon that was in.
Dang.
Oh, if you watch the stream back, there's all sorts of slander. I spent all this time talking about how Damage Glitch messed up Coaster, only for there to be a goal to ride the coaster back into the station.
Yeah.
And then I talked about how Riker was not completing. I was like, yeah, I'd love to see them complete the read the mail goal. It doesn't take that long. And only to realize that you don't have to do that in your letter E.
Yeah, the two of us were convinced you had to do like the extra 2 goals in the corner, and we're like, oh wait, no, you're fishing.
Yeah, Icarus got a fish right after I messed up Wandering Couple, and so yeah, I lucked out on that one.
Yeah.
Icarus, tell me about how that bingo went for you. When we were looking at the boards, we were really thinking that your R was kind of a brutal grind of long late game quests.
There was a lot of really long stuff.
Icarus, you want to tell them what you were thinking before?
Oh my god. Like, first I thought, okay, I will have to just get a lot of money, and basically everything else I will be fine, and just basically rush story, take care of improving communication, since that's an important early one. And then kind of do some stuff on the side. But for some reason, I just thought, yeah, okay, there's basically stuff on there that just needs negotiations, mostly for transporting. And then there's camp development, which needs a lot of side quests, or basically just manager's requests. But what I didn't think of is that camp development needs to be in the phase where you already done forest, and I thought, yo, I don't have no reason to do A2, right? Because none of the other goals needed. So I didn't even do A2 for a long time. I picked up the Royal Chamber Transporter before even being in the phase for forest, just clipping in. And yeah, I kind of trolled on that one, and then I kind of backtracked a lot.
Yeah, because we have Kajiki working. I was like, I think we were like even after negotiations as far as like story progress was concerned, and then I just like went and did A2, and I was just like, what? Why is nobody doing A2? I was so confused.
Okay, for that I just caught another swordfish. Let's go.
Hey, I got the pod.
Let's go.
For that, I just did the Hundo route because I needed to do the Jackass fights. I need to do Robo Dojo White Belt. So I just went to camp first after negotiations, and that's the same thing you would in Hundo, just do Father Servo and the Jackass fights. And then I
Now-
went to Bunker, I think.
I'm not sure if people were keeping track of the other team's progress. Tsugoii, did you realize that you were the first letter to finish?
I had chat open, so I saw all the N being spammed. Just like, hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I was right.
Yeah.
we were hoping for some blessed fish RNG to
Yeah.
catapult.
So the issue is, I did a practice bingo like 12 hours ago. And in my practice bingo board, it had like catch 3 fish. And of course, when I only did 3 fish, one of those was a swordfish. So I used all my RNG on my practice run.
Oh no.
Oh, jeez.
Hate to see it. You hate to see it. So I've got a question for you, Will. Looking at your board, there is a lot of goals that need a lot of money. So how did you approach that in terms of making sure that you have enough to complete the goals?
Well, I can tell you it definitely was not from buying 99 medium recoveries.
Oh no.
I honestly, I was like, I'm gonna figure it out when I get there and see how much money I actually still need. Because, yeah, I still need a lot. I need at least like 50k to do the shields and my second machine weapon and upgrade Phoenix Dagger. And, yeah, I don't know how I was gonna do that. Besides, I don't know, maybe I'd go kill the bunny. I don't know.
You have a hard time killing the bunny.
I was really hoping that just whatever I'd picked up that I didn't need would sell for enough. I don't know.
Yeah, because we were looking at the board and we're like, wow, this is one hell of a board. Because Game picked it out and I was looking at it as well. I was like, oh yeah, no, this board is pretty good. And you're set in there, you're commentating, and you're like, oh wait, we gave them a really rough one.
Yeah, we really made you guys use your full bingo skills. I took a look at it. I was like, oh, there's nothing like that's absolutely like brutal, like no transport. All right, we're good. Let's ship it. But
yeah,
I was sitting there with Riker. We were both still in Bunker Shmup and saying to each other, dude, what the fuck is this board? There's so much late game shit. You need like a bajillion money for everything.
now,
So many side
thankfully, Place of Memories and Kill 3 Enemies in Gravity Program, which are 2 even longer goals, both didn't need to be done by anybody. Thank goodness.
Okay, because I saw those and I was worried for whoever it ended up on. I did not realize that nobody had to do that.
Yeah, when you see Kill 3 Enemies trapped in a gravity program, you're like, oh, that's no problem. And you're like, yeah, let me just go buy the gravity program. And you're like,
yeah, you gotta do the confidential intel.
So many quests.
I've never equipped pod counterattack in my life in this game.
No, it's perfect dodge and then hit fire, pod fire.
Wait, I thought it was talking about like am I thinking of the 9S thing then?
Yeah, I'm not sure what you're on about.
Yeah, I had to ask Icarus and he told me, so that's the only reason why I know.
Yeah, so I'm guessing you've never seen those animations before.
I have. I just always. Yeah, exactly. I always did that on accident.
It happens on accident in pit fight all the time, I think.
Mine's usually the silos and prologue.
All right. Well, I think we'll let Bingothon have their time back. Thank you, everyone, for running, and thank you especially to everybody who watched. We're always happy to be here and have people hang out with us, running NieR Automata Bingo.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thanks, everyone.
Absolute pleasure to have you all here. NieR is an absolute staple of Bingothon at this point, so it's good that we can show off that level of our community to the Marathon Alliance crowd. Alright, folks at home, we will be back in a few short minutes with a run I know a lot of people have been looking forward to. Yes, it's another classic of our community. It's time for Golf with Your Friends, and we're bringing organizers from across the board. So look forward to it and see which marathon is best at all that golf.
And are we going to be seeing the same level of chaos as we did during winter 2022?
We can only hope. All right, look forward to it.
All right, GG's.
GG.
GG. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure. I think this is like the second or third time that I've hosted during the NieR runs for Bingathon, and it's always a just really relaxing time for me, at least. I'm sure it's chaos for the runners.
It's not for the runners.
I made a big
Definitely
mistake.
not for the runners.
I made a big mistake right now.
Uh-oh.
Oops. Okay.
Hmm?
Note to self. This is the first time this has happened. But this is good for myself that it happened to myself.
What have you done to the stream?
Was.
I essentially locked myself out. That's interesting.
Oh no.
Oh no.
We
Runners,
are
could
in
you
live.
turn off your stream?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
Oh.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain, chat.
Oops. Now I just gotta manually mute everything. Oh my god, this is amazing.
How did
Well
you
done.
do this?
Hospital ship SS Hope Maritime Mobile W8OLJ in the Java Sea.
So this is gonna be Lethal Company Bingo. I'm joined with Matt, Zach, and Georgi. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh my goodness, I have so many of. What? Ah! Why do I have all the tulip snakes? Help! Get off of me! Dude, I had like 4 tulip snakes on me.
Is Georgie dead?
Well, someone marked off death by bees, so just a hunch, I think Georgie's dead.
You are doing pretty good. Do I have time for a quick donation?
You might want to wait for whatever's about to happen. Oh, run!
You are doing pretty good.
No!
There's no way that's happening, right?
No, it's not. Get to the fire exit. We're just taking the fire exit and leaving. What's going on? I'm dead.
Bro, this is not going well.
What do you mean? This is going great.
I'm out.
Everything's fine.
Yeah, but I think it spawns more commonly on Titan. Ow!
Are you kidding me?
Did you drop the egg? He put the egg.
I dropped the egg! Guys, run! It's coming!
Oh no.
No, run! No!
What's that?
Snare play, I think? No, loot bug. Hey, that's not it! We have a loot bug problem.
Rob, grab the hive.
I'm getting my stamina back!
Stop me!
You!
Oh, he died.
Oh, what? Oh, what? Help! 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 Help!
3,000
Help!
later.
No! Did they not hear me screaming help?
We're gonna go into a quick intermission.
Wait for 1 second. Everyone get in the line.